Good day to all of you. I present to you my thesis proposal entitled Pangasinan Socio-cultural Civic Center Achieving Cultural Identification through Humanistic-existential Approach in Experiential Architecture. For my introduction, according to Cultural Influence Ranking from the World Report News, countries which have defined cultural identity flourish unceasingly in their economy and continuously have the most stabilized order in their community. It is said that having their defined culture, they know how to represent themselves, improving not only individually but as a group of people. In our country, culture is also pronounced, but not as supported as the other countries. There are still culture and traditions that are not yet well supported. And as globalization continues rapidly, promoting it is being neglected. There are places in the country which need this promotion and support. And one of these is the province of Pangasinan. Pangasinan is known as the land of more than 100 wonders, but most people has a strong perspective that it's just of Ilocano stock. Through much research, I was able to see issues that the province has been facing for years that cause its lack of cultural identification, and these are the lack of cultural facilities, trade and exhibition facilities, as well as commercial and recreation centers. This research study has a special significance to architecture by creating an architectural approach using cultural identification as a goal to create a built environment. For the residents and society, it is to address the needs of the community by providing architectural initiatives in achieving cultural identification and promotion in the country. The goal of this study is to provide a cultural and social hub by creating a socio-cultural civic center in the province, and also the derivation of the standards in experiential architecture through humanistic existential approach in achieving cultural identification, which is directly applied to the proposed building development itself. Now, for the scope and delimitation, the study focuses alone on the culture and tradition of Pangasinan, and the study of humanistic existential approach in experiential architecture in creating socio-cultural civic center. To further justify this study, three of the reasons why it is further conducted is because first is the plan of Governor Espino III of the province of Pangasinan to support and engage the culture and tourism of the province internationally, and also the 2019 to 2025 proposal of tourism development in the province, as well as the proposal of NCCA to create and establish regional cultural hub in the country. Other justifications are the following. Now, for the research method used, J.C. Jones Summary of Design Process Chart is utilized. This research method is used to easily analyze and understand the topic through its major categories, which are the conception of idea, data collection, and the organization of data collected. This analytical framework, on the other hand, is created to break down the separate process of research and design project, from problem to solving up to the final output, and to see how will it be able to be combined to achieve the goal of the study. Now, as you can see, for the review of related literature, there are two divisions, the research and design project. Under the research project, it discusses all the contextual studies of the thesis proposal, specifically the humanistic existential approach as a guide in the overall experiential design to achieve cultural identification. The humanistic existentialism has three fundamentals: sensory, space, and time. Now, applied in experiential design, it has specific application on first, in sensory category, there will be application on material, patterns, texture, color, and light. Under the space category, there will be application on space articulation, form projection. And for the time category, there will be application of binary and biotope design. This experiential design applications is assimilated with the culture and tradition of the province of Pangasinan. Now, for the design project, it contains all the studies related to the building typology that will be integrated to the proposed development. Now, for the case studies, there are also the same divisions. Under the research project, it studied on the Lotus Temple, India, Tangbao Academy in China, and Mega Cultural Center in France, which has applications on site planning design and building design. Well, the design project, it studied on Francisco Civic Center in USA, K11 Musea in Hong Kong, and Cultural Center of the Philippines that has further applications on site and building development. Now for the data and presentation. As you can see, this shows that the location of proposed Pangasinan Socio-cultural Civic Center is in Lingayen, Pangasinan, which is the provincial capital of the province. The location of the site is inside the ecotourism civic zone of Lingayen, which is the zone intended for the proposed tourism and commercial district of Lingayen. So, building the proposed development is approved and suitable within this land zone. Within this zone, I selected 3 possible sites for the proposed development, which is represented as site A, B, and C. After conducting Likert scale and much analysis, site A garnered the highest score. As you can see, the selected site experiences average temperature of 30 Celsius most of the year. It is also prone to storm surges since it is along the shore and has a weak soil. Although not prone to earthquakes and other hazards, it has a relatively flat surface and it is located in a semi-dense population area. Here in the site inventory, it shows that most of the nearby establishments are schools and other institutional facilities. The site can be traveled by boat, jeepney, car, or motorcycle. It is located right in a tourist spot with an open and accessible area, and it is a need of commercial and recreational facilities as given in the CLUP of Lingayen. The proposed development has an estimated 1.6 to 2 hectares of the initial building footprint, including the initial parking areas of each building typology, covering almost 30% of the total site area, leaving an approximately 70% for the open space. Here are the various environmental systems that will be incorporated in the proposed development. Since a selected site has a weak soil, it is recommended to use pile and rough foundation and have a structural elevation. The site will also use landscaping to prevent much damages from storm surges by planting high sea trees and other sea plants. The proposed development will also use rain garden system as well as integrating roof gardens and green walls. Digital directory system and landmark using topiaries is used for the wayfindings. So my design philosophy is from Norman Foster, which is as an architect, you design for the present with an awareness of the past for a future which is essentially unknown. The design approach is derived from the combination of concluded derivation of experiential architecture for cultural identification with the guided philosophy. The form concept of the building has a relation to its arrangement in the site development plan, which is in a crescent moon shape. Now, for the source of funding, there will be a government and private agency that will support this proposed thesis development, which are DOT and DTI, and then for the private sector, will invest. The return of investment for the private sector will take 6 years, and this is quite viable since public-private partnership agreement takes up to 25 years. So now for the conclusion and recommendation, it is concluded that in order to achieve cultural identification and the said other needs of the province of Pangasinan, creating the first Pangasinan Socio-cultural Civic Center, which is composed of commercial recreation center, museum, library center, and cultural convention and trading exhibition center through the experiential design standard derived from the guidance of humanistic-existential approach is indeed feasible. My site development plan and the arrangement of the building are in a crescent moon shape since I want to follow the geographical shape of the Pangasinan. I put the cultural convention at the center since it's the major building among the main three facility. This I want it to be showcased. So the plaza behind it is part of the recreational area which aims to represent the aquaculture and agriculture of Pangasinan along with the other activities like zip lines, maze activities, 100 Island Park, as well as with the mango picking forest along with the commercial center. I also locate the museum library center in the nearest access point so it will be convenient and easily reached by neighboring students since most of the nearby establishments are schools and colleges. And that is all. Thank you for listening.